I wanted to share the meeting. It said only the host can share.
Really? Let me work on that.
Okay, no. I think it's share. No. I think it's fine. I think it's maybe it's share screen, not share the meeting. I'm just looking for the link.
Okay.
It's fine. Let me see.
All right. We are live and we are good. Yeah, Mr. Samuel Dixon, welcome again to tonight's session.
Always my joy, sir.
I'm so glad that you are able to make it. We are still on romance and finance. We're still looking at the intersection between romance and finance. And I believe that tonight we're going to have a lot more to learn from your wealth of knowledge.
Mm.
We are concerned that the emphasis on finance as it concerns romance, we have to keep having conversations on that. Otherwise, we have a situation where people are not able to engage in the marital space for fears that maybe they are founded, maybe they are unfounded. But in the course of the conversation, we'll be able to determine that. But if I can remember very well, during our last conversation, you seem to have indicated that that was unfounded. You seem to have said money takes the shape of whoever is handling it. So you had emphasized the need for our personal development. But at a particular point, you talked about character. And you said, if character is not tested, or rather, until character is tested. Can you play around what you were trying to say that day on that? Then we'll take it up from there.
So I was saying that I've had some people say, but let's start with the fact that every divorced couple, they were once in love. I mean, they saw what they liked and they felt like, this person is good. But you cannot say a poor man has integrity if you have not been tested with money, you know.
Okay, so we will, all right, so Mr. Dixon was saying until you are tested with money, then your character, okay. Welcome back.
This is not like what happened the other time. I'm trying to make sure that nobody calls this number. This network is clear. So I was saying that every divorced couple, they were once in love. And history is replete of a lot of financially stable relationships falling out of love. So maybe when you started, you're saying is financially stable. But you enter into the marriage and you see that his responsibilities were fewer. He was a young person, so he could manage his own, eat food, go out. But once he marries and responsibilities increase, suddenly he exposes his deficiency. Because the Bible says people don't love light because light will reveal what they don't have. So once the responsibility comes, it squeezes them to the fact that they've not grown in some part of their life. So you would have said he's a young man. He has money. He's doing well. But that's because his finances have never been tested. How is he going to manage having 3 children, dividing the money with food and his own family? How is he handling his budgeting? So you cannot say he's financially stable until his stability has been tested. It's the same thing as character. The lady, the parents have been guarding her. She has never been out of the house. Or the mom has been telling her, don't visit men, don't visit men. Amazing. She has kept all those rules. But when she is faced with pressure, is she able to be the same person? So that's what I mean by that character needs to be tested. If she leaves the house, for example, and she's relating with people, will she start, will she still be the same person? You know. So this is where, character needs to be tested. In my, this is what I meant when I said character needs to be tested.
Still in that vein, connect what you just said now with romantic love. How or what is the yardstick for measuring the genuineness of romantic love?
So for me, I think that for romantic love, first of all, I think the word romantic love is my problem
Okay.
because romance can happen and it's not love. It has nothing to do with love. People can just. In fact, if I don't even I often don't believe this is me. I often don't believe that love should have adjectives. Like filial kind of love, phlegmatic kind of love, and all this. Which is fine. I have to define it, but I feel like the love itself is in the context of my own faith. Love is God, and God is love. So what changes with love is the privileges that comes with it, not the love in itself. So I don't believe that I love my sister the same way I would love my wife, but I can't have sex with my sister. So I cannot call love erotic love because I have sex. Because people have sex without love. So because I have love with my wife, to not change the love I have to with her as erotic love, or the one I have. Love is love, but the privileges differ with the place we find ourselves. For example, if I'm with my sister, I can be filial, but it's not changing the object of my love. If I'm with my wife, I can have filial. The reason why I cannot do some things with my wife is because I still have filial for her. I still have her as my sister in the Lord. Somehow, because for example, we're in the same household of faith as sisters. Then that we got married did not take away the sisterhood, as in the brother and sisterhood thing. So I cannot do you something because you're my sister in the Lord. Then you are still my wife. So we can have erotic um, privileges. But once I separate love and give it and divide it into different things, then we begin to say this person, because probably the person has not grown, you know, the person has not grown to be able to handle, people should grow to enter into spaces in our lives. It's not just some people should qualify for the spaces we give them. And it doesn't change the love that we have for them. I don't know if I'm going off the point. So the processes of, okay, I was just stating that I like love to be love and not love plus, love plus nothing, because love is love. Those does not see the way Bible describes love. See, love does not seek its own. That's powerful. It means love is love. Love is love like that. And if you say love covers multitudes of errors, so you can see the way love is being described. It's holistic in itself. If love happens to you, it can break every barrier. So, but as humans, as we are, we try to give it a name so that it will fit into our human experience. So we begin to say, there's erotic love, there's filial, there's phlegmatic, there's love with friendship, there's a love with this. I love see, Austin, my brother, is my brother. He's not biologically my brother. But today I was thinking while I was driving to get there, I was thinking, I said, Africans don't really love children the way they claim. They just love ownership. Because why can't you love another child that is not your child? Because the person is not your child. And I say it's not your blood. No, you don't really love children. You just love them like you love your TV because it's ownership. So it's the same thing as how we now put love. You put love in a box and we give it several names. And I know we can talk about the world has accepted that there are types of love. For me, I, personally, I don't feel like we should have romantic love. I don't like that romantic love.
All right.
Love is love.
I agree with you to the extent that the word love is one of the it is the most overused word, yet grossly misunderstood.
Mm.
All right. Now, to that extent, people still have their positions and definitions and conceptualization of the whole thing about love. But since tonight the conversation is on romance, then let me repackage the question. Do you think there are genuine romantic feelings or expressions, and there are other feelings? Who knows? Maybe they are lustful feelings. Is there a way to determine when romance is genuine and when it is not genuine? If
Okay.
yes, how do we define genuine romantic feeling?
Okay, so I think that genuine romantic feelings will come from our core value, because the reason why your definition of sex is from your value. My definition of sex is from my core value. So if if it aligns with your core value, then we can say it's flowing from the core of your being and it's genuine. But if it's not flowing from the core of your being, then there may be manipulation somewhere that is not genuine. I don't know if that answered the question.
All
So
right,
if the
that
core of
is
your being it's still having issues. If you have identity crisis, then you still don't know what you want. If you're not standing for anything, so you can fall for anything.
so if I say that when the feelings you have for somebody is genuine, based on your point as per core values, if your value, if the feelings you have for somebody is genuine, you will respect their boundaries. Is that a good way to put it?
Perfect. Yes.
That also means that if we're going to learn from Jacob, when Jacob moved into Laban's house and there was Rachel, there was Leah, and he had this feeling towards Rachel, I just discovered that the 7 years he served, today, if you want to marry a lady, you go to her family, they give you a list.
Yeah.
In Jacob's case, the 7 years was not defined by a family. He offered to serve 7 years for this person he has this feeling for. And because the offer he made was over and above, it appears, over and above what was expected or obtainable, our father was quick to accept it. Does that, can we also say, therefore, that when feelings towards a person is genuine and right, it will lead, or some of the indicators will be action, positive action, and servant leadership. Can we say that? We can say that,
So,
right?
yeah. Yes, because love is self-giving. Just imagine how, because he loved her, he could walk, he could work to qualify for it. Not like because if the father already accepted and said, okay, come and take the wife, he may not have needed to work. But this is the object of my love. What can be too much? It's the way that Bible puts it. I think I said it in the last it said, if a married man careth for the things of his wife, how is it please the wife? So that's pleasing, It's important that we understand that there's no place in the Bible that speaks of us needing love. It's God giving love. It's us giving up of ourselves for the object of our love,
Now, let's talk about polarity. When it comes to romantic feelings and expression in a relationship, do you think that the romantic feelings, or if you like, the love in a relationship, should the man's love for the woman be higher than the woman's love for the man, or the other way around, or it should be equal?
So there's no test. I don't know if there's a love barometer that you need to know that the love for the man is higher, or the love for the woman is higher? Is it because she's so? What is the parameter that makes this? How does love go lower and higher? That's my own, because for me, love does not upgrade. Now, activities can make me show it physically better. Then another activity can make you show it physically better. The challenge is when, like I said before, when we try to box love. So you're saying because maybe the woman is needy in love. See, the word needy, and most of us are needy in love, and we call it love. So at that point in your life, you need the physical, you need the whole thing that comes with love, the romance, So you're needy of the man's presence, and you call it love. Or then the man will not be needy of, those are the things those are how to put it in the right way. Those are the products of love. It's love that bets those things. So the core of you is love. Love does not upgrade. If your love upgrades, you are not in love. If you meet somebody, you can grow in knowing the person more. But say you want to love the person more. If you meet a lady that did not love you from the first day, you'll be cracking something very hard. You say, don't worry, she will grow to love me. Now, she may grow to be with you, do stuff, But I don't know, in this part, this is me talking like I'm reducing. I feel like if someone loves you, and if a man loves a lady, he doesn't care about whether he loves her more or less. If the lady loves a guy, he doesn't care whether he loves her more or less. We just offer up ourselves to each other. Because there are some points in life where the man will keep giving, 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 giving. Then at some point, the woman will retaliate. I be giving, 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 giving. So love stops when you stop to ask who is loving. So if you
But I hope you also realize that when you look at love in the context of God is love, there is a sense in which you are talking about love in its perfect state. However, we also understand from scriptures that these things are loaded, are captured in earthen vessels. Earthen vessels with their own idiosyncrasies, with their own limitations, with their own mannerisms on the one part.
The fallen man.
Yeah, so therefore, and also keep in mind that as we speak, we are broadcasting to the world, and there is a probability that some of the people listening to you are not even Christian. And so what you say has to be something they can relate with. Now, having said that, somebody said romance is a potent feeling sparked by attraction. So you see somebody, and maybe what you see appeals to you, and it generates emotions, it generates connection, it generates attraction. It could be the person's appearance, it could be chemistry, it could be their humor, it could be the fact that the quality, the diligence with which they do something about the person attracts you to the person. And so now, in a relationship, can attraction towards the man be higher, or attraction towards the woman, that connection? So now we're not going to play much with the word love again because of the differences in concept as to what love is and what love is not. We're going to put it or limit it to that attraction, that emotional connection, that force invisible that pulls two people to one to the other. Is it possible in a relationship that that pull for the woman is higher than the man, or that the man's own could be higher than the woman in a particular relationship, not generally?
Okay, so for me, culturally, the man is said to be the initiator. So the man has to show that you love the lady. Then the lady will not retaliate. Because women are mostly the emotional beings. They're the ones that feel like, they say, you were chasing me. Now that I'm not loving you, you're not running away. And then you read that kind of thing. Like, So, but I feel like there has to be a healthy dose of, there has to be a balance. Because when the man starts chasing, men, according to statistics, men love the chase. When they start chasing, and you call it love, because attraction first, and I will spark romance. We achieved it the other day that these things can just be a burst of energy, burst of hormones. I see a fine girl, she attracts me. There may be nothing about something sustainable at the instant, but all these things are tested with time. They are tested with what you call love, is tested with time. So the whether a man should love more or a lady should love more, I think that they should love in the degree, the same degree. If there's anything like that, they should love. If a lady sees a guy and she likes the guy, culturally she can't do anything. I mean, culturally where we are from, she can't do anything. So it's not expected that a man should love more than the girl because he's an initiator. But if you ask me, there's no dichotomy in that, except you have something to say, sir.
Are you also, okay, when you say culturally, are you of the view that if a woman finds herself attracted to a man, she's supposed to put her fingers crossed and wait until the man initiates or takes the initiative to talk to her or reach her? Is there something the woman can do to demonstrate, to indicate her interest? She doesn't have to initiate a relationship, but can she do anything to give a lead? And then she backs off to see if the man can chase her, if the man is interested, but he doesn't know how to start or something.
Oh.
Is there something she can do, or she should just wait? What
No,
culture is that?
Of course,
Culture, African culture?
So I'm in Africa, so I'll say African culture because I don't know the culture from other places. So I feel like for ladies, if you I believe that you must have gotten to that place where that we like each other before we begin to get to the next level. But we have it reversed here. You'll be chasing the lady, she'll be telling you no. You say one day she'll say yes. You'll be chasing her, she'll say no. So there's nothing showing you green light, nothing showing that one day she may say yes. So it just looks like you're just chasing. There'll be burnout somewhere. And most times when you use all the energy to chase, there's no energy to now do the relationship because you have used it to chase. That's where the ladies will now say, you were chasing me, now that I have agreed, you're not the one I'm chasing. But I feel like there has to be healthy dose. Give him a prompt that I would like this thing, but give me time. There's a way to just put it together. I would like it, but give me time. I like the idea, but give me time. Or can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear
So
you. Can you hear me?
Yes, it's very good.
Okay.
I just feel like healthy love should be mutual, should be balanced, should be based on shared respect and not one-sided efforts. If you find out that the guy is liking you and you like him back, enjoy the ride.
Unfortunately, available data and statistics show that in most relationships, there is a polarity where this thing, romance, connection, whatever, is more on one side than on the other side. That you rarely find a relationship where there is balance, there is equilibrium in attraction. So I've had women say, advise their fellow women, if you go into a relationship, make sure you are more attracted. They will use the word in love with the man than the man is in love with you. I've also had men say, the man should be more attracted or more in love than the woman. I am of the school of thought that because loving is not a challenge with women, you said they're emotional beings. Loving is a challenge with men. That might be why God said to the man, love your wife. Respecting is a challenge with women. That might be why God said to the woman, respect or submit. Now, I am of the school of thought that in a relationship, because of the man's affinity, difficulty in loving or in sustaining attraction, that's the word. In sustaining attraction, his interest, he's not able to sustain interest in a lady. He's easily distracted. Before long, he's chasing the next woman. Before long, he's chasing 3 other women. I am of the school of thought that the man's attraction to the woman should be confirmed, should be indicated, should be proven beyond reasonable doubt, because if you put the woman in the right atmosphere, she doesn't have problems. She doesn't struggle with her attraction or with maintaining interest. But it is the man that struggles with that. So I am of the school of thought that when it comes to romance and emotional connection, every woman should ensure that it is not enough that she's attracted to the man. She must prove beyond reasonable doubt that the man is also attracted to her. In fact, even more attracted. You know, the relationship where you stay in a relationship, you have not seen somebody for 3 weeks, for 1 week, for two days, and you are living your normal life. Another person has not spoken to you and it's 3 p.m. and the person is not comfortable. I've not spoken to my guy today. I've not spoken to my babe today. That connection. What do you think about that description I just gave now?
Amazing, because it's even practical. Like, I mean, I'm a man, so I think it makes sense. Because about I may not be quick to if I soulishly love someone sincerely, the world can stand still. I would just, every other person will be glory, like and that's what will trigger actions and trigger your love interest, trigger your things you'll be able to do for the person. So I really buy the idea. It may not be popular, but I think it makes sense, especially when you find a lady that is interested in you. Because interest is also important to be able to, like, as a basis for this.
Now, having said that, I usually think that every woman, when she's approached by a man, should find a way of verifying that she represents the man's definition of what is best for him in terms of what attracts him. The Bible defines a woman as the delight of a man's eyes, the delight. It says to somebody, was it Hosea or somebody, it said, I'm going to take your wife, Ezekiel or somebody, I'm going to take away the delight of your eyes. Now, if a woman does not represent a man's definition of the best for him, tomorrow, when he finds what he thinks is the best for him, he's going to be distracted and he's going to move on to that person. So it becomes important, in my view, that the woman should not be carried away by a man's initial interest or attraction toward her, because now he's talking to you. He might have been attracted to somebody just yesterday. He might have spoken to somebody just last week. And now he's attracted to you again. You want to ascertain what is his description of what is the best, the woman that fits, the woman that compels his attention, the woman that makes him lost. He loses his attention. You know, when you are caught smiling and you didn't realize, you don't know what you are smiling for. So because of the dynamics and of chemistry and connection, a woman should define that. But coming back to our conversation, when it comes to when attraction is genuine, it leads to action and it leads to servant leadership. I am of the view that one of the things that genuine attraction leads a man to is that he begins to engage in strategic planning and pursuit for financial security.
Okay.
It may not be only the man. The woman too should think in that direction. The question I'm going to ask you is, what is your recommendation for intending couples when it comes to securing financial stability?
Okay, so love is unconditional, but marriage is not. Marriage is intentional. I mean, there are conditions for marriage. I mean, you need to have had, because if you're not able to take care of yourself, how do you take care of another woman and children that will come? So financial conversation has to be done, you know. And I'm not saying you have all the money in the world, but you must be earning something. You must now we've moved past let's say using finance to attract a lady. They're not talking about or intending couples, you know. I mean, you must understand budgeting, and these are things that have wrecked a lot of marriages. You must understand budgeting. You must understand the expectations of your financial expectations. For example, if a lady is marrying a guy because she feels like he can fund all her dreams, buy her hair, buy her this. If you don't discuss this, she'll 3 months into the marriage, she's feeling like when she was single, she could afford everything. All the men in her lives are no longer giving her stuff. She's now stuck with you. So you must discuss these things, open discussions. You know, if you're going to do shared financing, if you're going to do, things that okay, for now, since you don't have enough, your salary can handle this, my salary can handle this. Very open conversations, because in the end of the day, financial stuff really, really very important in marriage. So intending couples, talk about it. Don't shy away. And men shy away from this a lot because, let me use culturality. They are term providers. you know. So we want to earn our respect by spending, like Ababola kind of thing, or Dogo, the way they describe men. So, but women are also earning in our generation. I mean, earning very well. So, if this your money is our money, my money is my money kind of thing should not be mentioned, because this is marriage, this contribution. It's called partnership for a reason, you know. So we must put ourselves in that place where we know that we are in it as partnership. This one is whole, this one is whole, and we are contributing our quota into making this marriage thing work. So financially, we have to discuss budgeting, discuss vacation, how much we put for this, and 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 you must understand your financial archetype. I know I said this other time. Yeah, is the lady a spender? She a saver? Is she someone that invests? So you can begin to know the deficiency that she has with money and begin to work on it. Because if you're marrying you can have a very amazing lady in character, but she's a spender. I mean, she doesn't know how to save money. Once money comes, she's calling from the market. The money has finished. So can you send me more 20,000? You know, you'll be like, hey, this man go kill me. Oh." Because she did not know her financial archetype. He did not know that this lady, she doesn't mean bad, she's just a spender. And it's something that can be worked on. But some people are savers. If you give them money, she'll first remove small first before they go to the market. you know, then some people are investors. They keep thinking, oh, what else can I do with this money? Savers are not always investors. You make that mistake to think that because you save, you will invest. Some people are savers because they are scared of investment. If you read the scripture of the talent, the other people went to invest their money. The other one saved it in the ground. And the master was saying he would have even put it in the bank. So a lot of people that save is for fear of investment. It's not because they are, so because some people have this, their risk appetite is very good. So you must understand the financial archetype. There are some men that are also like that. They don't venture. They don't do anything out of their comfort zone. They are always, risk averse. They are always like, no, I won't do it. So you understand your husband's or your fiance's risk appetite. Then you can also know how to challenge him in a respectable way and push him into starting small and on growing and understanding investment. These are important for intending couples because in my experience, I've spoken to a lot of couples. The couples that I see win are couples that talk about finances. The couples that win in their finances are people that understand investments together. They have family investments. They do businesses together. If they are, for example, trying to buy a land, the woman is contributing small to it, even if it's not everything. It kind of helps healthy financial system in the family. Not the one that the man is busy doing it, the woman is just sleeping and not or the woman is doing stuff. One of the things that I also found out is that women, my friend that works with the bank told me one time, said they found out that the men, their next of kin are always their wife, but the women's next of kin are always their brother. So you would wonder why. So because they feel like anything that happens, I can see. So you're opening room for those. And most men, if they see what women do with their finances, their heart will wreck. And I've heard a lot of men complain about this. Said, I am trying to fend for the family. There are some men that they are looking for money. Their wives have millions in their account. They won't bring it out because of their what they understand. And once a man discovers this thing, the marriage is gradually going to an end. So it's important that you understand the financial archetype of people that you're getting married to, and be able to talk about this thing, come up openly and discuss finances because trust me, finance is one of the things that wreck a lot of relationships and marriages.
There are two words you used, and I just want to draw your attention to them. At some point in your conversation, you said some people are investors, others are spenders. And so you should know your partner's financial archetype. And then you said these things can be worked on. That's the word I'm going to hold on to. You talked at some point where you said the woman can push the husband to grow, to invest. One of my challenges as a counselor when it comes to relationships is finding people go into marital relationships after noticing a deficiency in their partner, but they go into the marriage hoping that that deficiency can be worked on. And almost every time, that deficiency never improves. I know a lady that has that deficiency she's been trying to deal with for 25 years in the marriage. It has not changed. I know a woman is 35 years. That thing is still there. Most all of the times, people have not developed the capacity to support change in their partners. And so every time people go into a relationship hoping that something about their partner will change. It rarely does, because they don't even have the skills, the competencies to be able to support change in a partner. So when you say it can be worked on, I see a red light is shining there for me.
Okay,
When
so
you
sir,
say so are you, I want you to look at that as a risky path for people to follow, especially for those who are going to go into relationship. Go ahead.
okay, so let me say, because they're archetypes, there's nothing that cannot change if you begin in the right frame. Let me just even explain. Some people are, like I said, they have archetypes that are judge, they are spender. Maybe because they've not met real challenges. They've not seen a reason to save money. For money keeps coming. You know, so if you have for example, you have a partner that you notice that the partner is spending. The pitfall is that the conflict is that they will never look for budget. They will be spending frivolously. But if it's somebody that is open to change, you may not be a financial expert. You may not be the one to change them. But you can direct them towards books to read. You can direct them towards, just watch them and see how they respond. And this is before you enter into marriage. What you're talking about?
Okay, I wanted to ask you, is that before marriage or in the marriage?
Yes,
So go ahead.
so that you see adaptation. So you see a
Okay.
saver. Pitfall is that you say this man is stingy. From the beginning, you know that you understand that it's his financial archetype. He may not be stingy. He may not be. He plans always. So people that are savers, the pitfall is that you see them as stingy or overly cautious. So people that are investors, you will always understand.
All right, that most likely is another network glitch.
Givers.
We
But the problem is that they give to outside. Can you hear me? What did you hear? What did the last thing you heard?
Yeah, there was a glitch. Your picture was static, and so I was trying to talk to
Okay, so
them.
I'm
So
saying
go.
that there are some families where the husband is a giver, like he gives to everybody, and the wife is always complaining, "You're giving too much. One day you come and give our daughter." She complains about his giving. If she would have understood his financial archetype, she would have understood his generosity quotient. And most men like that, they also battle with balance. So these things can be, because you will know it from the marriage. This thing will not start inside marriage. You know, you know it from the marriage that this guy is a giver. He can even, if somebody has issues, he may be looking for the children's school fees to give. So you understand how to help him balance it. For example, if you know that the man is a giver, once he receives a salary, 80% should first go into the family account where he doesn't have control. Then 20% can be him. And if he's someone that is open, you understand accountability. He will know that this is for my accountability. Not I'm the man. How will he control? No. This is a deficiency, and they are doing this for control reasons. And the family will be going on smooth. Like I said, people will ask, who is the leader of the family? The leader of the family is the person that can lead the family to fruition. So if the woman is a good financial manager, she leads in finance. You say, darling, what do we do next? You take advice from her because she's a professional in the finance. If the man is to, the woman should surrender to him in the finance. And we enjoy, that mutuality and enjoy life instead of, you don't even know anything about money and you want to lead because you are the man.
All right. As a person, what is your personal design and projection? Would you want to be in Africa, particularly in Nigeria? If you know the Anambra men, when they want to get married, they don't want the wife to work. They don't want her to do anything. They want to provide everything. So they want what they call a full-time and full-time housewife. As a person, Mr. Dixon, do you want to be a sole provider in your marriage, or do you want your wife to also contribute?
As a person, I want to be a provider because why I don't want to use the word
Okay, you don't want to use the word soul, okay.
why I don't want to use the word soul is because she's a living thing. She will contribute.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
so if you now put the word soul provider, you also deny her of her right as a human to contribute. I mean, I may never tell you give me that, but you will contribute. There's joy in contribution. The joy of contribution is that you're giving to life. Just imagine that you can pay your daughter's school fees, but you don't want to because your husband is sole provider. What is the joy? So life is really deep. Life is deeper than giving. Life is deeper than the the joy of giving is more than money. It's how it refreshes the heart. So imagine that you can tell your wife, "Ah, please can you just send somebody 20,000 naira?" And she'll say, I don't have, give it to me. So you need to give it to her to give it to somebody. So I'm just saying that I'm going to provide for my family. I will do everything I need to do to make sure my family is fine, but my wife will contribute. I mean, she's not, because the concept of work is not just for money. And amazingly, taking care of children is another big work, but it's not a work exclusive to the women. So it's not something you say, stay in the house and take care of the children. That's the one. That's not a balance. You know.
Now, you talked about budgeting, and I'm just thinking, how many people are really into budgeting? And now let's narrow it down to before people get into the marriage properly. I like the fact that at some point when you were talking, you talked about the need to verify these certain things before the marriage to ascertain the extent to which your partner is inclined to change. Your partner is teachable. Your partner is willing to be helped when you want to support change. Fantastic. Because once you go into the marriage on the assumption that I'm going to change somebody, that will be your biggest frustration.
Yes, sir.
Now, when it comes to budgeting, I've seen people preparing for marriage, get into marriage, and then they've not even sat down to define their budget. Number one of the benefits of budgeting is that it helps you clearly define expenditure, what it will cost you to run your family in a month, number one.
Mm-hmm.
When you have defined what you expect to spend in a month, the next thing to do is to now ask yourself, so how much do we have? Budget for a month can be 10 million, but what we are earning is 8 million. To do proper budgeting, you must know what you have. What does the man have? What does the woman have? What is our shortfall? We need 10 million to run the home, but what we are earning is 8 million. It is part of budgeting to now ask yourself, how do we raise the funds to manage the gap? Then the intending couple, and I want to ensure that the focus of this conversation is for those who are yet to go into marriage. The intending couple can now sit down to ask themselves, what can we do to enhance our earning capacity to earn the difference in money that will enable us to meet our targets? Budgeting is strategic. The question for me is, do you think how many people getting into marriage really take the time to sit down and be pragmatic with budgeting? And what advice do you have for them?
So I think that a lot of people that get married, they allow most of, I don't know, I think 50% are not objective enough. They just allow the emotions of the planning, of the wedding day, of the different things just occupy them instead of really asking the main questions and the things that would really sustain the marriage. While you were talking, something just jumped into my mind. One of the things I think women should really look out for, especially for men, is the ability to jump back after a crisis. I mean, this person had money and he lost the money. What is he going to do next? Is he going to, because when you see men begin to beat their wives because they are broke, it's not the lack of money, it's the energy that comes with lack of money. It's their understanding that my respect is tied to provision or is tied to money. So they can stay in a place for 3 years, they've not made movement. They are not, they are not move, they are just shocking in, complaining. They are not making strategic movement. Maybe there's one of their friends that is doing it. They are not making, because those that make more movements always see more miracles. It's something that we should be used to, because we are human beings. We need to keep becoming. And some things, what we call challenges, can be our growth point. It can be nature telling you to grow. So you see some people lose their job and they are not working hard. Children are looking for food. Some people prefer to beg than to sell. I mean, they prefer to call 10 people to be begging them than to look for something to sell to be able to feed their family. So how does this person react when things are missing? Even in the house, you can know when their phones miss, how they react to this, how they react like the whole world should come to an end. These things will show you their priorities and how they attach themselves to this thing. And this is so key. There are some men that leave their job. They are going to look for something. They are going to look for taxis to drive. They are going to look for boats. They are going to look for this. Some people will be looking for that white collar job until hunger will finish everybody. What do you do in the meantime? Because you cannot be shameful of what is gainful when you need it. So how does this person react? See, I've seen where this person had 3 cars, he sold all of them, he started trekking, he's still not wanting to enter into the street. And before you know, the wife is now the one fending for the family, is not the one hustling everywhere. And before you know, he's completely lean back like nothing happened because, he still remembers the old good days when we used to. So these things are things you need to check when, we are making up our minds in both those days. So I feel like for budgeting to work in marriages, we need to also talk about our end. You know, what do I need to do? What courses do I need to take? Positioning for the next level of earning. Because if you're earning the same level every year, you're not growing. So you need to plot your earning capacity increase, right? You need to take another course. You need to make another movement. So sorry, I think I've left the question. Can you ask me the question again?
It's okay. So we are talking about budgeting, of course, and we're saying that pre-marriage, before the marriage, to what extent are intending couples really painstakingly engaging in budgeting, because budgeting is projectile. It helps you to project the future. It gives you a target. You start working towards that target. If you ask some people what it costs to run their family presently in a month, they may not be able to tell. If you tell an intending couple to give you a projection of what it will cost to run this family they want to create through a wedding, they don't have any idea, even up till when they go into a marriage. That does not show that people are sophisticated enough for the marital space. And I was saying, what advice do you have for them?
Okay, yes. So I think that everybody should begin to learn how to budget. It may not be easy when you start, if it's not something that is culture to you, but it's something that is needful, like it's a lifesaver, because black tax is there. There's always there will be always good ideas and money to accomplish them. I mean, there are lots of amazing ideas. So the concept is not to say no to good things. That's what budgeting means. Say no to good things so that you can even do better things in future. So it's something that the culture that we should imbibe. And like I said, 50% of us we don't budget. We just live as money comes. Some people say, but I don't have money. Why would I even budget? That is why you should budget because you're culturing yourself, to be able to budget. That's how, and my mom before I knew it, had already bought a land because she was living on a strict budget. She was just a primary school teacher, but she was able to achieve that because she was living on a budget. You know. So I think budgeting is important for especially intending couples. Forget about the big wedding, planning for big wedding. Think about after the wedding. How do you sustain? So it's critical, really, really critical. I have a young friend, and I call him a son. That, sir, can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Nobody is going to change this country but us.
In progress.
I'm glad that you're still there. Can you hear me?
Very well, sir. Sorry, I guess you had a network glitch.
Yeah, I think that was something that I think something went wrong with the network. I was completely logged out, but we're good.
Right.
I was completely locked out. I had to find my way back. All right, so welcome again. I hope you were able to drive home your point for the last question. So I'll take two more questions and we will be fine for today. At some point you talked about doing business together. I noticed that for many people in relationships, they are fine until they want to have conversations. So they avoid conversations. There are also other people, they are fine until they want to do business, joint business. They want to open a restaurant together. They want to open a it will help most people say, do what works for you. And yet, a lot of the times, what people claim works for them is, to a large extent, awkward. And for some, it's just a time bomb waiting to explode. But my own idea about marriage is a conglomeration of two different individuals' identities and visions and purposes conglomerated into one, working as a team. And I would have thought that if two people cannot work together as a team, there was no point even getting married in the first place. Now, incidentally, I'm asking you questions that are technical. I'm aware that you're not yet married, and so these dynamics you may not have them firsthand as experience. But what would you have to say to that fact that a lot of people are married, but they are running as two complete entities, different, running in different paths and different directions? This person doesn't even know what the other person is doing. The other person is not involved in what the other person is doing. Everybody is fixed. And I seriously agree people should do what works for them, as long as it is healthy and functional. But what is your own school of thought in that direction?
So first off, what works for them is sustainable. That's the first thing to know, because some people say it works for them. I met a lady some years ago, and the first day I met her, she was already telling me how she will never allow her husband come into her.
She will never allow her husband to do what?
To come into her business.
Okay.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you here. Go ahead.
Okay, so
loud and clear. I can hear you.
To cut the long story short, they are no longer together. They've been divorced. So it's the same thing. Like it's not even about people that work together stay together. Business people that do stuff together stay together. And it boils down to the same thing I talked about financial archetype. You know, some men that are spenders that do not work on themselves will enter into a woman's business and scatter it. They should say, don't come into my business. So that understanding is not there. They are not, maybe one person is building and one person is scattering. And those things happen because, so, and you say, do your own thing, let me do my own thing. Whenever you come into my own thing, those kind of things. So, but you may not even be doing the same business. Like, it's not like maybe you need to do a restaurant together, but you understand the intricacies of the business. You are inside that business, it's inside the business. That's teamwork. Because even if you did not know about what he does, you'll be reading about what he does. That's business. That's how it should be. That's complete teamwork. So and this is critical for me as a person. It's critical for me as a person because I need to be inside what you do. I'm that kind of a man. I need to support what you do. I need to advise you about what you do. I need what you do to grow. So I have to be inside what you do. And if it threatens you that I'm inside what you do, then there's a problem. But I'm not I'm saying I want you to grow, and this is what it is. You cannot be doing your own, and you're growing your own, and I'm growing my own. And another thing is the security of hiding how much you earn. If you hide what you earn from your from anybody, then there's already a problem. If you're not transparent in your finances, some people say if your wife knows how much you earn, she'll be billing you. It still goes back to financial archetype. It still goes back to understanding their financial archetype. Because if you notice that there are standards from the beginning, and they are not agreeing to change, let them go and marry politicians.
As you are talking, I am reminded of the fact that when my spouse was still alive and available, she was an educationist, passionately one. And so you won't, she actually started a school. And you won't see me in the school. I'm not part of the school. But when it comes to the engine room, where what happens in the school is ideated, the ideation, the creativity, the innovation. We sit down together, we draw the strategy, draw everything that needs to be done is done on my table. And then she goes to execute. When there are functions that require my presence, I'll be there. But I'm doing my own stuff, she's doing her own stuff. Now, so like you said, we don't have to be there sitting down together running, but there ought to be an engine room where you make input. In my own stuff, there's an engine room where she makes input and then you go out there to implement. That is why almost every time I could tell you what's going on where she is and what she's doing. I could tell you what stage of growth, what stage of development, what the next line of action. Now, like you said, let me borrow your word. Now, that's my idea of two people coming together in marriage. That's my idea of what it should be. But people do it in very different ways. And a lot of the times, it creates toxicity in relationships. A lot of the times, you really feel like there is division. And I don't know how people survive in those kind of things. My advice to intending couples is to sit down and plan and talk finance. Before we go, I would like you, on a final note, to give recommendations, at least 5 recommendations to intending couples. You on the first day when you were introducing yourself, introduce yourself as an entrepreneur, introduce yourself as somebody that has an eye for business. Everywhere you see stuff, you're thinking of investing and how to multiply resources. And I'm like, I've seen you hold seminars, you're talking to people, training, encouraging. What final words do you have for people who are going to get into marriage and about their finances? What they can do differently to get it right with finance? What are your suggestions to them? Who knows whether some of the things you will say will be pivotal in positioning them for a blissful marriage? Just before we go.
All right. So right now, if there's any couple or people in relationship intending to get married, listening to this, one of the things you must do first is to read financial books together. Now, it's important that you eat the same meal. I mean, when I mean eat the same meal, you have the same mental frame about money. So if you read the same books, you can begin to think the same way. I would recommend a book like Think and Grow Rich for you. So you need to stock your library with books. You buy two of the books, not this one we read, and you review it together. It should be part of the things that you should start doing if you intend to get married. Then attend workshops, attend seminars, attend networking sessions about business, about money, about stuff. Don't be laid back. I mean, attend these things as couples, then you need to set up your own financial runway. Set your financial runway, set up how you want to improve and increase your finance. For example, she has a restaurant. You want to look at the business holistically and find everywhere in the value chain that you can make money, and all that. Then, there's what they call financial thermostat. Is that amount of money that if they give you 10 million naira now, the money will reduce to that amount before you have sense. It happens in families. You need to understand the amount of money you are able to handle, then begin to increase it as you grow. This is important. I mean, if the lady has never handled 1 million before, the man has never handled 1 million before, that's your thermostat. That's where you want to start from to know where you are and increase. If you've not handled 500,000 before, stop thinking of 10 million. Too far. Just ask yourself, how do we earn 5 million? When you finish earning 5 million, you can now say, how do we earn 10 million? Just make sure that you're growing gradually. Some people think that their problem is money. Your problem is not money. Your problem is capacity. If more money comes to your hand, it will reduce to your capacity. So you want to make sure you grow capacity for money gradually. And take risk. Take sweet risk, or agree and take risk. Take risks together so that if the man takes risks without the woman will blame the man, and he will blame the man for life. So you must discuss your risks together. I know sometimes the woman may say, "Don't do it, don't do it." It's your prerogative to pitch it in the way that she will understand, or pitch it in the way that he will understand. Yeah.
Wow, profound thoughts that you have shared there. You said intending couples should read books together, financial books. You recommended Think and Grow Rich. You said they should have separate copies, read it, and then review it together. Well, I hope they are listening to the thoughts that we're sharing, and I hope it's something they want to think about and do, because at the end of the day, the future we do not plan for, do not execute, we do not pursue, will not become our reality. Things don't just happen. Things happen because people thought about them, put it on the drawing board, went for it, and it worked. If we don't sit down and plan for these things, they may not become our experience. You recommended workshops, you recommended seminars, you recommended networking meetings. And I believe that there's so much that you have said that people need to take up from there. You talked about setting up your own financial runway. You talked about financial thermostat, what people can handle per time. And you said it's not lack of money that is our problem, it's lack of capacity. I like that point where you said discuss risk together. We had a time, but I don't know how much I did that I didn't put on the table with my spouse, and then when we wanted to take risk, we dived in together. When we don't want to take it, we back off together. In my mind, that's my idea of what marriage should be together.
Yeah, so there's this challenge where the man is trying to run and against the woman, and the woman is there as your buffer. So stop thinking that she's trying to hold you back. Sometimes most men get broke because they've not listened to their wives. Most, like 99% of men, because when she's trying to tell you, bring the balance in, you're not seeing the balance, and you're trying to go all in. If you say, okay, let's sleep on this and wake up the next day, let's sleep on this and wake up the next day, and if once you're in sync on these things and nobody is trying to, your heart is pumping, I'm losing money, you cannot lose money if you do not invest. You may not have made the money, but you do not lose money. So staying in that place where you have peace, especially in financial planning, everything. Desperation will just not help anything when you're doing. I think it's key. I'm using my parents as a case study. My dad, after his retirement, invested his retirement money with his friend without my mom's knowledge. And The friend scammed him of his whole retirement benefit. Till today, this is after 20 years. My mom has not forgotten it. She still reminds me. And this is how it is for women. So it's not something you should just do because you feel like she may not understand. No, discuss it with her. Discuss it with her. Let her be in sync. So if something happens, she's with you. She's with you all the way.
As you're talking, I'm just thinking, why will you marry a lady that you don't trust her competence in giving you suggestions that can be transformational? Because as you're talking now, as a person, I'm a thinker, I'm an analytic, I am a thinker, but I married a woman that is a feeler, intuitive. So what happened for me was that almost every time she brings a suggestion to the table, she's not able to analyze logically why she thinks she'll go left. And as soon as you're not analytic for me, then I can't follow. So I just do things on my own once I feel that she's not analytic enough. 3 times in the course of our marriage, I disregarded her suggestion and went ahead to do stuff. And I fell flat on my face. When that happened 3 times, bros, I changed my mind. I got to the point where as soon as she says this or that, I'm listening. And whether I understand where she's coming from or not, because she's a feeler, she's intuitive. She just arrives
And a
at
lot of women are
knowledge.
intuitive.
Absolutely.
So when they now add the fact that they have the Holy Spirit for Christians,
that's a blast. So when I noticed that every time she tells you, this is how I feel we should go, I don't wait for analysis because she's not the analytic type. I'm not trying to change her into my frame. The reason God made her intuitive and made me analytic is for variety, for blend, for beauty. Our differences should become our beauty instead of the reason for our division. And from then on, I will wait for her input before and like I said, a lot of people will say they're doing what works for them. I just hope it's really working for them because, like you said, a lot of men have lost incredible resources because they didn't carry their wives along. It's not only men, there are also women who probably have lost incredible resources because they were trying to hide and seek from their husband. The truth about it is that the blessings that marriage promises, we cannot attain it without distinct unity of purpose, unity of spirit, oneness. We live to cleave. A man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. I pray for singles who are listening to this conversation that they are more intentional as they negotiate relationships so that you are getting into a relationship with somebody with whom you can live to cleave. If there is no agreement, no connectivity, no way of working together, why get married just because of romantic connections, feelings, and affinity? That, in my view, is the biggest error of the century. Wow. This has been an amazing conversation, Mr. DIXON. And I believe that anybody who is patient enough to listen to this conversation from the beginning up till now will take home so much that can better their lives and take them to the next level. I'm not able to thank you enough because there are no words. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you for the resources. Thank you for allowing us to pick your brains, kind of, not in the negative sense, and then to put information out there for people to take whatever they can take and move their lives to the next level. Life is choice driven. Mr. DIXON, we look forward to more time with you in conversations like this in the nearest future. And we trust that you will continue to collaborate with us and share in your wealth of knowledge. May God bless you. Thank you so much.
See you again.
All right.